Who's actually getting the most out of a high-end induction range? And who would be better off saving the cash for a simpler electric stove? If you're wondering whether the ZLINE Autograph Edition 36-inch Paramount can justify its price tag in a regular family kitchen, you're not alone. The hesitation usually comes from two places. First, the fear of stepping into a technology that feels more restaurant than home. And second, the worry that all the style Q satin stainless with champagne bronze accents might mask hidden compromises in everyday cooking. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through the real-world setup, the day-to-day usability, and the hidden trade-offs so you can decide if this is the range that belongs in your home. When you pull the ZLINE Autograph out of the box, the first thing you notice is the matte finish surface. Unlike the high-gloss glass you see on most induction cooktops, this anti-glare coating actually does something useful. It cuts down on the annoying reflections that make it hard to read a recipe screen or keep an eye on a simmering pot. In a busy kitchen with pendant lights overhead, that matte look means you're not constantly squinting. The 5 flexible cooking zones are arranged so that the larger zones sit under the middle burners, while the 2 outer zones are a bit smaller. In practice, that layout works well if you often have a big sautepan on one side and a smaller saucepot on the other. I've seen home cooks use the central zone for a 12-inch skillet to sear steaks, then slide a stockpot onto the leftmost zone for a quick broth. The seamless bridge zone lets you place a griddle that spans 2 elements without losing heat, which is a genuine time saver when you're making breakfast for a crowd. The induction side of things is where the value really shows up, but it's also where the trade-offs hide. Induction heats a pot directly, so you get a near-instant response. Turn the knob up and the water starts bubbling within seconds. That's fantastic for anyone who values speed, like a parent trying to get oatmeal on the table before the kids head out the door. However, that speed also means you have to be comfortable with the precise control. If you're used to the lag of traditional electric coils, you might find yourself overcooking a delicate sauce before you even realize the temperature has spiked. The knobs on the Autograph are exclusive, custom-styled pieces that feel solid, but they're not touch-sensitive sliders. You have to turn them manually, which some people prefer for tactile feedback, while others miss the modern digital dial experience. Durability is another claim that the marketing leans on heavily. ZLINE says the glass has a 7.5 Mohs hardness rating, putting it ahead of most residential cooktops in scratch resistance. In real kitchen life, that translates to being able to drag a stainless steel pot across the surface without leaving permanent marks, something I've seen happen with cheaper glass tops that end up with permanent etches after a few months. The anti-scratch coating also holds up when you use metal utensils, but it's still wise to avoid dragging sharp knives directly on the surface because even the hardest glass can chip if you hit it with enough force. Now let's talk about the oven. It's an electric convection unit, so it circulates hot air with a fan to even out temperature gradients. For a family that bakes a lot, think holiday turkeys, sheet pan cookies, and everything in between, the convection feature cuts cooking times by roughly 15 to 20% and helps avoid hot spots. The downside? The fan can be a little noisy, especially when you're trying to keep a kitchen calm while a toddler nap time is in progress. It's not a scream, but it's noticeable enough that you might want to schedule the louder bake cycles for times when the house is quieter. The oven's interior is a standard enamel finish. It's easy to wipe down, but it doesn't have the self-cleaning pyrolytic function you find on premium models. If you're the type who loves a set-it-and-forget-it clean, you'll have to budget extra time for manual cleaning. Who should walk away from this range? If you're a casual cook who only uses the stove a few times a week and you're happy with a basic electric coil or even a budget induction, the Autograph might feel like overkill. The price point sits well above entry-level models, and the performance gains: instant heat, bridge cooking, and a matte surface are most noticeable when you're cooking multiple dishes at once or need that rapid boil for meal prep. Similarly, renters should think twice. The unit is heavy, requires a dedicated 240-volt line, and isn't exactly easy to move when you're chasing a lease renewal. On the flip side, the sweet spot is for serious home chefs, small to medium families, and anyone who spends a lot of time in the kitchen and values precision. If you already own high-end cookware that's induction compatible like stainless steel or cast iron, you'll get the full benefit.